President Donald Trump is set to be arraigned on Tuesday on an indictment by a grand jury in New York City regarding hush money paid to a porn star before the 2016 election. Trump is expected to plead not guilty, with his lawyer describing the charges as politically motivated. The specific charges have not been made public yet, but the grand jury heard evidence about a $130,000 payment made to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. Trump plans to make public remarks at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida on Tuesday evening. Former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson has called on Trump to drop out of the 2024 Republican presidential nomination race. Two French journalists from Le Monde and Libération have been expelled from Burkina Faso. Agnès Favre and Sophie Douce were accused of having their freedom of speech suppressed as part of an ongoing crackdown on foreign media. Both journalists were working legally in Burkina Faso and had valid visas and accreditations. Relations between Burkina Faso and France have been strained since a military coup in October 2022. The Burkina government has suspended military assistance from France and withdrew French troops from the country. The government has also suspended broadcasts by RFI Radio and France 24. The crackdown on media has been criticized by media rights organization Reporters Without Borders. They claim that the military is targeting the media to cover up their abuses. The signing of a political agreement in Sudan to establish a civilian government has been delayed. The agreement was meant to end military rule following the October 2021 coup. The main point of contention is related to a technical case concerning military and security reform. The ruling generals and the main pro-democracy group have been in talks facilitated by the African Union, UN, and Intergovernmental Authority on Development in Eastern Africa. The timeline for security sector reform and the integration of the RSF paramilitary force into the military is the stumbling block. The Army wants a 2-year timeline, while the RSF is calling for a 10-year window. The parties will continue to work towards an agreement by April 6, with intensified efforts to solve unresolved technical issues. Kamala Harris, U.S. Vice President, concluded her week-long trip to Africa where she visited Zambia, Tanzania, and Ghana. Harris aimed to deepen and reframe U.S. relationships with the continent and highlighted new initiatives to strengthen business ties and support democracy and good governance. She acknowledged some places on the continent lead the world in digital solutions, but also pointed out discrepancies and vowed U.S. support to close the gaps. President Joe Biden has pledged to work with the U.S. Congress to invest $350 million and facilitate nearly $500 million in development financing for the continent. Harris departed for Washington after a roundtable discussion with business and philanthropic leaders in Lusaka. A group of at least 45 South Sudanese soldiers arrived in Goma, in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo on Sunday, April 2. They are joining a regional military force created last June by the Seven-Nation East African Community, EAC, to oversee the withdrawal of M23 fighters from eastern DRC. The region has been plagued by dozens of armed groups, a legacy of regional wars that flared in the 1990s and 2000s. Since re-emerging from dormancy in late 2021, M23 rebels have captured swathes of territory in North Kivu province and advanced within several dozen kilometers of its capital Goma. Several regional initiatives, including ceasefires, intended to defuse the conflict have failed to materialize. March 30 was supposed to mark the end of the withdrawal of all armed groups, according to a timetable adopted in mid-February by the EEC. The Ethiopian government has been opposing and trying to terminate the UN's International Commission of Human Rights Experts on Ethiopia, ICRI, which investigates violations committed during the 2-year war in the Tigray region. Ethiopia submitted a draft resolution to the UN Human Rights Council asking to end the mandate of ICRI and block the publication of the Commission's ongoing probe. 63 global human rights organizations, including Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International, have opposed Ethiopia's draft resolution and appealed to the UN Human Rights Council to reject it. Local rights defenders operating in Ethiopia have been deterred from making similar calls for independent investigations due to systematic pressure. Yamane Zuri, director of Tigray's Genocide Commission, accused local rights groups of abandoning their purpose and becoming tools for the government. Tadala Dure, vice president of Coalition of Ethiopian Civil Societies and director of Vision Ethiopia Congress for Democracy, defended the government's position against ICRI but emphasized the need for accountability. In November 2021, a joint investigation by the UN Human Rights Office and Ethiopian Human Rights Commission revealed that a number of violations committed during the war may amount to crimes against humanity and war crimes. Ifikatu Hailu, director of the Center for the Development of Rights and Democracy, emphasized the importance of independent investigation to redress victims and bring perpetrators to justice. The Ethiopian government expressed its commitment to investigating all cases of human rights violations and ensuring that victims receive redress within the framework of the Pretoria Peace Agreement.